Hi guys, welcome to this video looking at the reactions of when you add alkali metals into water. Now in the next video I will show you what's happening, but this video is going to look at the word and balanced equations to see exactly what happens when you add alkali metals into water. If we start off with word equations then, nice and simply, if you take an alkali metal and add it to water, it will form a metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So for example, if you had sodium, all you have to do is substitute the word sodium into that generic equation. So instead of having alkali metal plus water, it will be sodium plus water goes to sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. And if you change that to potassium, it would be exactly the same. This time just replace sodium with potassium, so you'll have potassium plus water gives you potassium hydroxide and hydrogen. All you have to change is the name of the metal. When you're doing the symbol equations, it's very similar as well. So the generic thing is you put the symbol of the metal in, water, which you should know is H2O, the symbol of the metal plus OH, and then hydrogen, which you should know is H2. So if we look at the example of lithium, lithium has the symbol Li, so we just put that in as my metal, plus H2O, and it goes to, as I've said, symbol plus OH, so it will be LiOH, and then plus H2. Once you've done that, all that's left is to balance it. When you do this, I'd always look at the number of elements on either side to begin with. So you can see here I've got one lithium, two hydrogens and one oxygen. On the right hand side, I've still got one lithium, but I've got three hydrogens. I've got one in my LiOH and I've got two in my H2. And then I've got one oxygen as well. So you can see from this, my lithium is balanced, my hydrogen is not balanced, and my oxygen is balanced. So we need to start off with the hydrogen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the compound with the uneven numbering, which in this case is LiOH, and I'm going to double it to make it even. This gives me two lithiums, two oxygens, and 2 plus 2 equals 4 hydrogens. So none of them are balanced at the moment. What I now need to do is go over to the left-hand side. I know I've got H2O, which gives me 2 hydrogens. I need 4, so if I put a 2 in front of that, that gives me 4 hydrogens, and also doubles my 1 oxygen, so I have 2 oxygens. All that's left now is my lithium. I've got 2 on the right-hand side, 1 on the left, so I double it, and that gives me 2 lithiums, which is now balanced. Again, what happens if I choose a different alkali metal? Well, nice and simply, you just do exactly the same thing as you did with the word equation, just replacing the symbol. So the symbol for potassium is K, so I've got 2K plus 2H2O goes to 2KOH plus H2, which is your balanced equation. The next thing I want to talk about is what you actually see when you put them into water. Now, I'm not going to talk about the differences here, I'm going to talk about the similarities. Now, every single alkali metal, when you put them into water, they fizz, they effervesce. This tells you that you've got hydrogen gas being given off. They also all float on water and move on water. This tells you that they are less dense than water itself. Okay, that is everything you need to know on this part of the topic, so let's have a look at a few questions. Question 1 being, when lithium is added to water, there is effervescence and the metal floats on the water. What does this tell you about lithium? So what does the effervescence tell you? What is being produced? And the fact that it floats on water, what does that tell you about density? That's what they're looking for 2 marks there. Question 2, write the word equation for the reaction between rubidium, which is in group 1, and water. It's exactly the same as the ones that we've looked at previously. Just change the name of the metal. And the same with the balanced equation for the reaction between cesium and water. Look at the symbol for cesium and then just change it in as we've done before. So pause the video, have a go, we'll see how you've done in a minute. Okay, let's see how you've done then. So when lithium is added to water, there is effervescence and the metal floats on the water. So if it floats on water, it tells you that it is less dense than the water. And if there's effervescence, it means you've got fizzing, you've got a gas. You don't, for this part, need to know that it's hydrogen, but it would help to put that in there. It just guarantees you're going to get the mark. Okay, let's have a look at the word equation then. So we start off with rubidium and we're reacting it with water. Make sure you get this in the exam, because that's going to get you 1 mark if this is worth 2 marks, just for taking the information from the question. It tells you you've got rubidium, it tells you you're reacting it with water, put those in. Now, the next thing is you know you're going to get a hydroxide. We've already talked about that, so you just take the name of the metal, rubidium, and put it in beforehand. And again, you know the gas is hydrogen, so just put that in at the end. So your word equation is rubidium plus water, which gets you 1 mark, gives you rubidium hydroxide, and hydrogen, which gets you your 2nd mark. Okay, let's have a look at the balanced equation then. Again, this is fairly straightforward, fairly similar based on what we've just been talking about. Now, the first mark everyone should get, because you know cesium is CS, you've got your periodic table in your exam, so you put that down. Water, you all should know is H2O. And then you've just got to remember the formula for the hydroxides. So you know hydroxide is OH. And because it's in group 1, you only need one of each, so you have one CS and one OH. And then finally, you have H2. When it comes to balancing then, let's have a look at what we've got. 2 hydrogens here and 1 hydrogen there, so that's 3. So if I double that, I get 4 in total, including this 2 over here. I then double this, which gives me 4 hydrogens, 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens. I've now got 2 cesiums over here, so I need to put 2 in front. So you'll get 1 mark for CS plus H2O, 1 mark for CSOH plus H2, and then 1 mark for your correct balancing. Okay, that's pretty much the end of this video. I have got a couple of review questions for you. First one being, describe what you would see when lithium is added to water. We've already talked about that. You get a gas given off, so what would you see? And it floats on water. Number 2, write the word equation for the reaction between francium and water, identical to what we've just looked at with francium instead of rubidium, and then the same with francium for the balanced equation. So just find out the symbol for francium and replace it into what we've just done. Hi guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click on like down below. You can have a look at my latest video up there. You can also have a look at my website if you haven't seen it before, and you can click on subscribe down below. Bye now.